All right, you guys, and here is my big sexy story. And that is the story about the passion in my work, why I do what I do. And I just want to share you where I come from and what happened. So it was April of 2010, and I found myself helplessly sobbing in the lobby of the Hyatt Regency Hotel at the Orlando, Florida airport. I had been an EFT practitioner for over 8 years. I had participated in a feature-length movie about EFT for PTSD in veterans. I had published the first EFT for PTSD research study in a peer-reviewed magazine. I had co-authored a book with Gary Craig, the founder of EFT. I had been invited to present EFT to Walter Reed. I have done all this work. And I had a growing email list of thousands of people who wanted to do what I was doing and asked how they can support me and all of the other things. And yet, I had only made $12,000 in the previous year. I had literally been volunteering. I had been doing a lot of busy work. I wasn't running a business. And my family was suffering from that. I had no idea how to pay for my daughter's college. I had no idea how to come up with retirement. I had no idea how to support my family. My husband couldn't pull all the weight. He could fill and still, can fill our current needs and some future stuff, but we need more in order to make it through. That was my job, and I was letting my family down. And even though I had all this amazing recognition and was invited to speak and radios and stuff all over the place, I felt like crap about myself. And I remember there was a time when I was so down and so depressed that I was sitting on this red couch and I was hitting my fist on that sidearm of that couch and said, I just freaking don't know. I don't know how to do it. I don't know what I'm missing. Why am I so good at what I do? And I'm not making any freaking money in return. And then there was a second piece that happened. And that was that I got all sorts of referrals from very well-known EFTers and psychologists and all over the place. They all sent me these people. And one thing that all of these people, very often soldiers, had in common was that none of them could pay. And I thought, what in the world am I putting out there? Who I am and what my needs are, that people with a lot of income even dare to send people to me that need a volunteer. Why are they not volunteering? Why do they expect me to volunteer? What do I present that makes this happen? And I realized that people were loving me and really appreciating me. But quite frankly, I found it very disrespectful that none of them sent me people that could pay. I guess they kept it for themselves. So I was loved, but I was not respected. And I realized that if I wanted to be respected, I needed to make money. I needed to make money just like everybody else, so that they would step back from just saying, oh, she's so sweet and she has the time and, do all this work. And then there was another thing I realized. And that was that I started to get more and more emails from people who wanted to do just what I was doing. And I will never forget this one email from a woman that I really respected and appreciated a lot. And she said, you inspired me so much to do this work. I'm so excited to share with you. The military has invited me to volunteer. They invited me in, which was a big deal. And I just thought, how's she gonna get paid? And I asked her, I said, honey, tell me, are they paying you? What is your income? And how's your family with that? Because she was basically offered a 25-hour-a-week position. And he got very quiet and she said, it's very hard. My husband is very angry. And I realized at that moment that I was inspiring some of the best to jeopardize their own families to jeopardize their own future, to jeopardize their financial well-being, because they wanted to follow in my footsteps. And I simply could not take that responsibility. So here I was in April 2010. And for 3 days, I was somewhere between sobbing and crying, pissing off my roommate because I couldn't even afford to stay in the room by myself. There may be a glass of wine in the context or not, probably a few of them. Because I realized that if I didn't make a decision right there at that conference to hire one of those coaches that were there, that I had access to, that I could interview, to help me with my business and to help me and teach me and give me the support that I needed to really create a lucrative business and a good plan and a solid foundation for what I wanted to do. If I was not making that decision and was willing to pay whatever it was that they were charging, I would have to close what I was doing forever. There was nothing ever so scary as to make that phone call to my husband and tell him that I was about to spend $6,000, a huge amount of money, the second most expensive thing after buying a car, on 6 hours of coaching, an hour of coaching a month, to somebody that I had just met in a hallway of a hotel. And I told my husband, I have a feeling this is going to be what I need. And if I don't pull this off within 6 months, I promise you that I will not continue to try to make money with this. And I will find a job, and if it's McDonald's, then so be it. Because I have that responsibility. Once I made the decision, I got to work. And I did what I was told to do. I learned what I needed to learn. I implemented what I needed to implement. And within 8 weeks, I had created $30,000 in new income. And by the end of that year, I had a $78,000 year. The next year was only $6,000 short of 6 figures, and the year after that, I crossed 6 figures. Big time. Big time. I had programs in place. I had systems in place. I had email systems in place. I had JV partnerships. I had the visibility that I wanted to have, and I was doing the work that I wanted to do, and I was contributing. I was traveling all over the country to all the conferences, the major conferences of important people in our field, to learn from them, to understand what this kind of business required. And yes, I actually have a business degree in Germany, so I know about business, but I didn't know about this kind of business and the requirements that there were. And I learned and I implemented, and as I did so, I was helping other people to grow their own businesses as well. And I realized that they oftentimes needed a system to understand where their focus needed to be. I realized that many people in my field, in the coaching and healing field, didn't know that they, just like me, were volunteering instead of building their business. Or they didn't know that they were just trying to do something that's fun instead of trying to do something that creates revenue. Or they didn't realize that they were so focused on income that there was nothing else in their life that was giving their business the meaning it needed to have a specific taste and flavor. I realized that some people were so focused on teaching that they wanted to speak to groups even if it was for $20 an hour. And I came up with a wonderful roadmap and a whole system that was able to actually teach over 6 months, where I could take people step by step by step into what it takes to be an entrepreneur that is successful, that has fun, that has a huge mission and a huge calling in life, and creates the revenue they need. And this is what I'm doing now with my clients. I can take them where they are. I can actually see where they are, and I can then map out how they can get to where they want to be. And I am so passionate about this work, about helping my clients, my wonderful, wonderful, powerful, potent, intelligent clients that are sitting on a gold mine in their life with everything they are. I am so passionate about helping them really be a success, not just a financial success, but a success as a person, a success as a human being, a a success as a spouse, a success as a parent, a success as a person in that environment and that society that they live in. And seeing who they are now and how proud they are of themselves now really makes my heart sing. It is wonderful and I love it, and it's an honor and a blessing and a privilege to work with every single one of them. So there you have my big why for why I chose this path in my business. And I know it's a little over 3 minutes, but thank you for bearing with me.